to our trip to China. We will be exploring some of China's famous places that tourists go to visit. We first of all drive to Phnom Penh International Airport to fly from Phnom Penh all the way to Shanghai Airport. After we got all our stuff with us, we then went to the airport check-in. The first encounter we had to do in the check-in was the baggage drop-off. After we finished doing the baggage drop-off, we are now heading for the security check-in. Now let's head in for the security check-in. After we finish the security check-in, we are now heading to our gate. On our way, we also found some very interesting areas that I found fascinating and very unique. As we were waiting to get boarded on the plane, we first had some snack to eat first. After we ordered some of those snacks from Starbucks, we then are now waiting in line to be boarded on the plane. As we got through our line, we are now ready for our flight from Phnom Penh all the way to Shanghai. We are now inside and we are ready to take off. As we take off, we have a good view of Phnom Penh up in the plane. After a few hours, we finally reached Shanghai Airport. As we finally landed, we are now heading to the baggage reclaim. As we arrived, it was very empty and very quiet. As we continue walking to the baggage reclaim area, we first had to go to a train. It takes about 3 stops to arrive at the baggage reclaim area. After arriving at our destination, we are now heading to the baggage reclaim area. But first, we have to do the foreigner fingerprint self-collection area. After that, we had a China immigration inspection. After we finished that, we are now going to the baggage reclaim where we get all our stuff and go. After we got out the airport, got some snack from McDonald's, we are going to the first place in Shanghai. Welcome to day 1 in Shanghai. We will be going to the Oriental Pearl Tower. As we continue our city tour around Shanghai, we also continue to interact with the beauty with it too. We also encounter Shanghai's top largest building. We finally arrived at the Oriental Pearl Tower. This Oriental Pearl Tower is so big and massive that there's a lot of areas inside. We are finally at the Oriental Pearl Tower and it is incredibly massive. As we head in, there was a lot of areas to look around inside the Oriental Pearl Tower. As we continue to explore around Oriental Pearl Tower, we also saw a good view of Shanghai. Not just that, but they also have a lot of interesting areas inside too. We next went to the Transparent Observatory, which is almost like a glass bridge where you can see above on the Oriental Pearl Tower. This place is so high and above that we can see everything down there. Some people had different reactions on the Transparent Observatory. There was so much space that they also included an arcade, which also included a VR roller coaster. We next went to the Shanghai History Museum. But before that, I also found some other interesting areas that I found fascinating. Like this Lego model of the Oriental Pearl Tower. We are now ready to head in the Shanghai History Museum. This history museum is just basically telling you about the lifestyle before in Shanghai. I found it very fascinating of how they made the structure to make it look like the real lifestyle before in Shanghai, including this little hologram that's supposed to represent the people doing their stuff in the lifestyle back then. Welcome to day 2. We went back to see the Oriental Pearl Tower, including the 3 tallest buildings in Shanghai. We got a nice view and look of the 3 tallest buildings. After that, we then looked around and also went to the third largest Starbucks in Shanghai. The Starbucks was really massive and big and has 2 stories. They also have a lot of machines of how they used to make coffee. After we finished exploring that area, it was the end of day 2 and now we're heading to day 3. It is now day 3 and now we're ready for the next place we're heading to. We are heading to a place called Three Kingdoms City in Wuxi. We finally arrived at the Three Kingdoms City. As we head into the entrance, we found some areas that I found interesting and amazing. Here's the theme park tour bus route, and some more of the other interesting areas. Here's a statue of the 3 brave soldiers. After we finish that, we are heading to a stage to watch about the 3 brave soldiers. After watching that show, we next went to a place to find more areas to explore. As we continued to walk around this place and find more areas to explore, we saw a lot that I found interesting and very fascinating. As we explore some more, we are now ready to head back and go to the next place. After a while, we finally reached our destination, which is at Nianhuan Chanyi Town. As we head inside, we also encounter lots of cats. The first thing we will see is a waterfall that has nice nature and very beautiful view. As we continue walking, we continue to interact with more of the other interesting areas and a lot of more with the nature. As we continue walking, we come across a bridge that has a lot of smoke, which I found very interesting and very cool. As we walk into the town, there's a lot of other more interesting areas that I found amazing. After a while of walking around the town, we came in to go eat at a restaurant. Then we came out to look at more of the other interesting areas out there. After that, we then went to a field of flowers that also have a pond. Then we went on a train to look around and have a tour around this town. Here are some of the views that we saw as we went on the train and looked around this town. After looking more around this town, we then head back, and then after a few hours, we finally reached the train railway station. After we finish the check-in, we are now waiting for our train to arrive. It takes a while to wait because the train is very fast, so it had to wait till it slowed down. The first station that we're gonna head to is Nanjing, then Zhujiaodong, until we finally reach at Beijing. After we got out, we are now heading downstairs to get out of this Beijing railway station. Then we head to our bus, and that was the end of day 3. We are now heading to day 4. We are heading to the Temple of Heaven Park. After we got through the check-in, we are now heading inside. Here's the view of the Temple of Heaven. Besides that, there are also other temples besides that Temple of Heaven. This was used a long time ago for the king to walk from his kingdom all the way to the temple to pray. After exploring some more, we are now heading back. After driving a while, we finally stopped at a place to eat. After we were done eating, we then went to a place called Shi Chi Hai, where we just basically took a tour and saw the structure out there, which is very nice. After looking more around, we then went to a place called Da Xilang. So we're finally here at our destination and we are now exploring this place. As we continue walking, there's a lot of people around this area. There's a lot of things to check out, like check out how they make this candy. Here's how they made it. First, they grab a lid of the candy, then blow in it to form a bubble. Then they get a mold and get the shape of that character. And boom, there you have it. After that, we continue exploring more around this place. As we continue to walk around, we found a Jackie Chan model which I took a picture with. After exploring a little bit more, that was the end of day 4. Now we're heading to day 5. We first had a little snack from McDonald's, and after that, we then are going to a place called the China Great Wall. After a while, we finally arrived at the China Great Wall. We are at the entrance of the China Great Wall, and here is a map of it. There's a lot of interesting areas in the beginning, and after we got in, there was also a lot of other things that I found interesting, like this fan and a lot of other stuff. To reach the China Great Wall, we first had to go on a shuttle bus where we had to drive from there to a place, and then we go to a cable car. So we're finally at that place, and now we're heading to the cable car. From here, we can see the cable car, and not just that, but we can see a little hint of the China Great Wall. So now we're heading to the cable car. As we got up, we then went to go for a check-in, and then we go into the cable car. So we're finally out of the cable car, and now we're ready to go on the China Great Wall. As we continue to walk around, there was a lot of other interesting areas, and the beauty on the mountain was beautiful. We are now walking on the China Great Wall, and ever wonder what's inside? This is what you will see. As we continue walking, we continue to enjoy the nice view of the China Great Wall. We are now going inside another one, and this is what it looks like. We are now heading upstairs, and it is such a beautiful view up there. After walking a little bit more, we are now heading back. We are now down from the cable car and we are now heading for the next place. We are now heading to the Summer Palace, which is a lot of nice view and is very relaxing. We then went to the Beijing Olympic Park. This place was so big and amazing that I enjoyed it very much, including that they have a lot of other interesting areas that I found very fascinating. This is our last place that we visit, and this is the end of our trip. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.